Somewhere along the way, a lot of women were told that if weight gain after 50 feels different, more personal, more emotional, more stubborn, the answer must be estrogen dominance. And for many women, that explanation feels so accurate it's almost a relief. Finally, a name for something that's been hard to explain. Because if you've ever looked at your body after 50 and thought, why does this feel so different than it used to? Not worse, not broken, just unfamiliar. You're not imagining things. And if someone told you estrogen was the problem and that explanation stuck because it made confusion make sense, you weren't wrong for believing that either. But what if the reason that explanation feels right isn't because estrogen is failing you? What if it's because something else changed first? Something no one ever explained. And your body's been responding ever since. Today isn't about blaming estrogen. It's about understanding why this feels so personal and why that doesn't mean that your body is betraying you. And before we go any further, if you appreciate conversations like this where we talk about health without guilt, fear, or hype, take a second to subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps this message reach more women who need to hear it, and it tells YouTube that you value this kind of honest, grounded conversation. And this is where the real story begins. There is a very particular kind of moment that many women experience somewhere after the age of 50. And it's difficult to describe because it doesn't arrive with drama or a clear beginning. There isn't a single day that you can circle on the calendar and say, this is where my body changed. Instead, it shows up quietly, almost politely, as a subtle sense that living inside your body feels different than it used to. Not painful, not alarming, just unfamiliar enough to make you pause and wonder when that shift happened. What makes that moment unsettling isn't that something is obviously wrong. It's that something is no longer predictable. The body you knew how to read, how to respond to, how to work with for decades suddenly seems less responsive to the same signals. Effort doesn't produce the same feedback. Consistency doesn't guarantee the same outcome. And for women who have spent their lives learning how to adapt, adjust, and take responsibility for their health, that lack of response can feel deeply personal. For many women, the first place this shows up is weight. Not dramatic changes, not sudden gain, just weight that behaves differently than it ever did before. It settles in places it didn't used to, it lingers longer, it resists strategies that once worked without much thought. And perhaps most importantly, it carries an emotional charge that wasn't there in earlier decades. This isn't just about how clothes fit. It's about the quiet fear that your body may no longer be something that you can trust. For other women, the change appears in more subtle ways. Sleep becomes lighter and less restorative, even when the number of hours looks fine on paper. Energy feels harder to access, like it's there but no longer on demand. Emotional resilience feels thinner, as though your nervous system is closer to the surface than it ever used to be. You're not falling apart, but you are more easily affected, more easily depleted, and without context, it can feel unsettling. The hardest part of all of this isn't any one symptom. It's the confusion. It's the not knowing how to interpret what's happening. It's not knowing whether this is something to fix, something to fight, or something you're supposed to simply accept. And when the body changes without clear narrative, the mind begins to fill in the gaps on its own. That's when the search for answers begins. Most women don't go looking for a label because they want something to be wrong. They go looking because they want something to make sense. They want a story that explains why their lived experience no longer matches what they expect based on everything that they've known before. And in midlife health spaces, one explanation shows up again and again. often framed as the obvious answer. Estrogen dominance. It sounds clinical, it sounds scientific, and perhaps most importantly, it sounds like it explains why this phase of life feels so different than anything that came before. When women hear that phrase, many feel an immediate sense of recognition. Must be it. Finally, a reason. Finally, a name for something that feels confusing and frustrating and hard to articulate. And for a moment, that name feels comforting. There's a relief in believing that you've identified the problem. Relief in thinking that finally you know what's going on. But that relief doesn't last very long because labels don't describe experiences. They frame them. And once something is framed as a hormone problem, the emotional tone of the story quietly changes. Hormones don't feel external. They feel foundational. They feel like something that defines you at a cellular level. So when the narrative becomes, my hormones are out of balance, or my estrogen is dominating, the implication is that something inside your body is no longer working the way that it should, that your body itself has become the problem. And that's a heavy thing to carry. Fear doesn't always show up as panic. Often it shows up as vigilance, watching your body more closely, interpreting every change as evidence that things are getting worse. It can show up as frustration when effort doesn't seem to matter, or as resignation when it feels like nothing you do makes a difference. Sometimes it shows up as grief. Grief for the ease that you once had, for the predictability you trusted, for the sense of partnership you felt with your body for so many years. What makes this even harder is that midlife doesn't come with a clear dividing line. No one hands you a simple guide and says, here's what's about to change, and here's why. Instead, changes accumulate slowly. Stress layers over stress. Responsibilities stack. Recovery time shortens. Sleep patterns shift. And all of this happens in a world that rarely slows down enough to accommodate those changes. By the time estrogen enters the conversation, your body has already been adapting for years. This is where the estrogen dominant story becomes incomplete. Not because estrogen isn't involved, but because it's being asked to carry the entire explanation on its own. Hormones don't operate independently. They respond to the environment that they're placed in. And the environment of midlife is often very different from the environment of earlier decades. Many women are carrying more emotional responsibility than ever before. They're managing careers, families, aging parents, shifting identities, and long-term stress that was never fully resolved. Their nervous systems spend more time activated. Their sleep is more easily disrupted. Their bodies spend less time in true recovery. And all of that creates a backdrop that hormones have to respond to. When multiple systems are signaling at once, the internal experience can feel chaotic. Weight changes, moods shift, energy dips. These experiences overlap and they blur together. From the inside, it feels hormonal. So estrogen becomes the face of the problem. But feeling hormonal and being hormonally broken are not the same. When estrogen becomes the headline, something important gets lost in the background. The full picture collapses into a single explanation, and that explanation carries more emotional weight than it deserves. Estrogen starts to feel like the villain in the story, the reason your body feels unfamiliar, the reason things feel harder than they used to. But estrogen isn't acting independently. It's responding. And response is very different from failure. Bodies are not static systems. They're responsive, adaptive, and constantly recalibrating based on what they're exposed to over time. When stress stays elevated for long periods, the body adjusts. When sleep becomes lighter or more fragmented, the body compensates. When inflammation lingers quietly in the background, the body protects itself. None of these responses means the body is broken. They mean that the body is paying attention. When those responses stack on top of one another, they can feel overwhelming from the inside. Weight feels harder to manage. Energy feels less reliable. Mood feels less predictable. The experience becomes confusing because there isn't a single clear cause that you can point to. So the mind looks for something concrete, something nameable, something that explains the whole experience in one broad stroke. Estrogen dominance becomes that explanation, not because it tells the full story, but because it's simple enough to hold. What often follows is self-questioning. Women begin to wonder whether they did something wrong, whether they missed an early warning sign, whether they waited too long to take action. There is a subtle shift from curiosity to judgment, from observation to self-criticism. And that shift changes the relationship with the body in ways that are rarely acknowledged. When the body feels like the enemy, every signal becomes suspicious. A small fluctuation feels like proof that things are getting worse. A difficult week feels like confirmation that the system is failing. And that constant monitoring keeps the nervous system on high alert, making it even harder to feel grounded or stable. This is why the label itself can be so heavy. It doesn't describe a condition, it creates an identity. A woman doesn't just think, my estrogen might be high. She thinks, my hormones must be broken. And once that belief takes root, it colors every experience that follows. What's rarely emphasized is that many of these changes are not sudden failures, but long-term adaptations. Midlife doesn't just arrive biologically, it arrives contextually. It arrives after decades of stress, responsibility, emotional labor, and resilience. It arrives in bodies that have spent years compensating, adjusting, and holding things together. When those compensations start to show up physically, it can feel like betrayal. But it's often the opposite. It's evidence of how much the body has already carried. This is where a different perspective becomes possible. Instead of asking what went wrong, the question shifts to what has been happening. Instead of assuming something is broken, there's room to consider what the body has been responding to. That shift might sound subtle, but emotionally, it's profound. It replaces blame with understanding. It replaces fear with curiosity, and it creates space for the nervous system to soften. A softened nervous system changes everything. When the body no longer feels under threat, signals become easier to interpret. Sensations feel less alarming. Fluctuations feel less catastrophic. The relationship with the body begins to repair itself, not through force or control, but through attention and respect. This is why so many women feel dismissed when they're told everything looks normal. Normal does not mean comfortable. Normal does not mean understood. And normal certainly does not mean that your experience is invalid. It simply means that the framework is incomplete. Understanding this can be deeply relieving. It doesn't mean there's nothing to address. It doesn't mean change isn't possible. It means your body deserves context, not condemnation. Today isn't about fixing estrogen. It isn't about controlling your body harder. It's about releasing the belief that your body has turned against you. Because when you stop seeing your body as the enemy, you create the conditions for clarity. And clarity always comes before meaningful change. If this conversation gave you even a small sense of relief, hold on to that. Relief is information. And if you know another woman who has quietly been blaming herself for changes she doesn't understand, please share this with her. Nothing about this phase of life means you're failing. Nothing about these changes mean that you're broken. And nothing about needing a better explanation means that you are behind. Your body is not betraying you. It's responding. This time of year has a way of making people feel like they're supposed to start over. Like if something didn't work before, it means that they failed somehow. But most women don't need a fresh start. They need a clearer understanding of why what they tried made sense at the time. Because when you stop seeing the past as a mistake and start seeing it as a response, the future doesn't feel so heavy. When we stop blaming ourselves and start questioning the stories we were given about control, the entire conversation around wages and what actually influences them starts to look very different. And as always, be good to yourself, be good to others, and keep loving life over 50.